The shocking truth my kids revealed during a family meeting. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. Mom, please don't be mad, but we saved everything. Mia says it like she's handing me a live wire. We're at the little round table that wobbles if you lean your elbows wrong, the one I covered with a lemon print cloth to hide the burn rings. I called this family meeting to talk about missed homework and secret group chats, small pebbles in a shoe that had started to blister. Jaden is spinning his pencil, eyes on the ceiling fan, counting the slow blades as if they can slice the tension into edible pieces. Alex leans against the fridge, arms crossed, performing relaxed. I am Dana, 34, registrar at Crestwood Middle, the woman who knows every attendance code by heart and keeps spare snacks in a locked drawer for kids who say they're not hungry. My job is order and proof. Tonight is supposed to be minor. Then Mia says, we saved screenshots, and the room rearranges itself. Refrigerator hum louder, lemon cloth too bright, my pulse loud as sneakers in a gym. I imagine our street finding out, the school board whispering, the PTA group chat blooming with speculation, the way reputations rot in public like fruit left in a hot car. If this goes wide, I could lose quiet, friends, the fragile truce with Alex, maybe even my job if people decide drama equals danger. Saved what? I ask. Mia's thumbs tremble around her phone. Jaden sits up, pencil stilled. Everything, she says again, and taps a folder labeled with a date and a name I recognize too well. Grandma Ruth exhales, a soft hinge opening. Alex's smile doesn't reach his eyes. I hear the neighbor's dog bark twice, like an omen. I think of the prayer I say while shelving medical forms. Let the truth be ordinary. Let it be solvable. But Mia scrolls, and a message preview shows a photo of our front door at 1:13 a.m., and the subject line under it reads, "Don't tell your mom." I swallow, steady my voice, and say, "Okay, show me." And that's when everything I thought was small unspools like fishing line across the floor. I haven't told the kids that what they know could shatter our whole street. Before tonight, our routine is a quilt I can fold by memory. Lunch is packed the night before, shoes by the mat. Mia's reminder to charge her Chromebook. Jaden's drawings migrating like leaves across the coffee table. I am not a perfect mom. I am a spreadsheet with smudged ink. At Crestwood Middle, I file forms, soothe parents, decode truancy notices. After work, I buy rotisserie chickens and pre-cut fruit and pretend this is balance. Alex and I share weeks like unsteady stacks of plates. He likes phrases like, for the kids, and don't escalate. Hates paper trail, unless it flatters him. Last Tuesday, he texted, "Your attitude makes things hard," after I asked why he brought the kids home 2 hours late without a call. At pickup, he kissed Mia's head like a campaign stop and told Jaden, "Your mom worries because she's dramatic." He said it with a laugh that offered everyone an exit ramp. I took mine and buckled them in. Tonight, he arrives with peppermint gum and that same laugh, a cologne you can't smell until it's the only air in the room. We're doing a reset, I say. Screens after chores, group chats include me, and we review homework nightly. Alex smiles at the fridge like there's a camera there. Sounds controlling, he says lightly. Dana, you're good at rules. We're better at vibes. Grandma Ruth lifts her mug. Vibes don't pay overdraft fees, she says. Mia's foot jiggles. Jaden hums a game tune. I pass index cards with bullet points and feel like the registrar even here. After dishes, I check the school portal. Mia's assignment submitted 9:58 p.m. from Alex's network. Lights out was 9. I text a polite reminder. He replies with a hall monitor meme. I keep walking. 2 weeks ago, Jaden had glitter in his hair on a Monday. He said, "We celebrated a win," then went quiet when I asked whose. Little stars, little alarms. Alex FaceTimed that night with his sponsored hoodie for Mia. I smiled and wrote down the brand. I thought structure meant safety. I didn't factor how charm rearranges rooms and hides doors. I thought tonight would be about curfews, not confessions. Mia opens her notes app titled Proof, looks at me like she's stepping off a roof, and breathes in. It wasn't just late nights. There were promises and secret gifts. First, ripples show up looking like weather. A missed call, a cloud across a face, a bank alert I tap and ignore. In September, Alex missed pickup. The school nurse says he called at 3:07 p.m. while his text to me stamped 3:10 claims he's already en route. Small mismatch, I tell myself, clocks drift. In October, I notice $120 cash withdrawals on 3 Tuesdays from the family account we co-manage for kid expenses. He says sports fees, but soccer was prepaid. Another time, he sends a screenshot of a forwarded teacher message about Mia's attitude. The font spacing looks wrong, like letters wearing shoes 2 sizes too big. You're imagining. I tell my own eyes, because peace costs less up front. Then chargers start disappearing at Alex's, and Jaden, literal as a ruler, asks why bedtime there depends on who is visiting. Visiting? Like friends, he says. Alex snaps, don't be rude. I file rudeness under boundaries and try to sleep through the creak of questions at 2 a.m. Tonight, Mia slides her phone to me. A thread shows, don't tell your mom I swung by, with a selfie of a familiar hallway rug and a shadow I can name. Timestamps stack like dominoes. Read receipts, bake a cake of certainty. What else? I ask, voice thin as tracing paper. Mia scrolls to a spreadsheet. Dates, times, cash amounts, Uber receipts, color-coded like mine at work. Shame blooms. My 12-year-old made the case file I should have made. Another contact labeled Coach has our address favorited and writes, you earned this, with a $75 transfer labeled Just Us. I taste metal. Why didn't you tell me? I ask. Mia's answer is serrated. He said you'd overreact and call people, and then he'd be mad. My face heats with recognition. The threat isn't punishment. It's losing the happy version of a man who punishes by withdrawing cheer. Jaden adds, he said you like rules more than hugs, and my body flinches like someone aimed at a bruise. I list facts aloud. Tuesday withdrawals, late pickups, altered fonts, mislabeled contacts, sleepy hearts, secret gifts. Facts don't hate anyone, Grandma Ruth murmurs. I open a new notes file, family meeting evidence, and breathe like I'm surfacing. He said secrets are safe if nobody gets hurt, Mom. The kitchen becomes a courtroom. I set the agenda aside and tell Mia to read the first message aloud. Alex laughs, palms up, projecting magnanimous. We're really doing this, he says, as if we're auditioning for petty roles. Grandma Ruth's eyes cut to him, calm as a metronome. We're doing listening, she says. Mia's voice shakes, but the content doesn't. Midnight drop-offs, a cash envelope in a shoebox, a message that says, you're my favorite adult, another that says, don't let Mom ruin this. Jaden, small shoulders squared, says, he said I'm a big man if I keep surprises. Alex interrupts, like we're mispronouncing reality. Screenshots show a familiar username using a second number, a porch photo from the street, a winking emoji that makes bow rise. Dana, Alex says softly, kids reinterpret things. This is why I avoid witch hunts. He reaches for the phones. I put my hand over Mia's. No, I say. We're archiving first. I open the laptop, name the folder, timestamp it, back it up to an external drive. For context, Alex says, you're escalating a misunderstanding you created. Context is what predators misuse, Ruth says, and the word lands heavy. Mia plays a screen recording. Our door at 1:14 a.m. The lens catching a jacket sleeve with a landscaping logo from Alex's friend. Clip info, created 10/19, 1:14 a.m., 2 minutes after a 1:12 ATM withdrawal down the street. Coincidence starts looking like confession. Alex paces, asking if we even know what consent means for recordings. Children can record their own conversations, Ruth answers, gentle as a book closing. He changes the subject so fast it leaves a draft. I think of the neighborhood chat, potlucks, the block captain, the tables. I imagine this crossing from private ache to public bonfire, my name in mouths that don't know me. I print a contact sheet because paper calms me. Ink feels like a steak. Professionals first, neighbors later. I say, and nobody argues. I plug the laptop in so it won't die, ask Mia to airdrop copies, and tuck Jaden's drawing of a lock into my pocket like a small oath. Headlights sweep our window like a slow lighthouse, and Alex's smile curdles into something colder. Something breaks that you can't hear, like a hairline crack in a plate. Jaden blurts, he has a key, and clamps his mouth like he wants the sentence back. What key? I ask evenly. Alex chuckles a stage chuckle. Jaden's creative, he says. We went over boundaries, remember? Ruth sets her mug down so gently it's a sermon. Where did you see a key, sweetheart? She asks. Jaden points to the porch photo. He said the spare is behind the gas meter. My scalp prickles. I never made a spare. I excuse myself to the porch with my flashlight and snake around the meter, fingers bumping webs and cool brick. Under a magnetic fake rock is a flat key with blue nail polish scratched along the top, the way I mark locker keys at work. Back inside, I wash my hands for too long. Mia adds, found key 8:42 p.m. to her notes in neat caps. Alex says softly, Dana, be rational. My rational is a clipboard, photos of the key, the fake rock, the location measured by bricks. Who knew about this? I ask. Not me. Alex says quickly. Maybe the landlord? The landlord is a retired science teacher who asks permission to change light bulbs. I text him. He replies in minutes. Only you and maintenance. No entry since July 8th, with logs attached. July 8th was a Tuesday. I bag the key in a sandwich bag and label it with tonight's date and time. Mia asks, are we in trouble for saving things? You're in practice, I tell her. Ruth pats the chair beside her and Alex doesn't sit. Jaden whispers, he promised me a drone if I kept surprises, and my throat clicks. I write drone promise beside the withdrawals. I ask Alex about a second phone. He says he doesn't have one, while Mia opens a screenshot of a case with 2 SIM trays. Procedure steadies me better than air. I lock the shoebox, check the peephole, and see a figure lingering by the curb where our porch light fails, face a dark oval turned toward our window. The hallway light snaps on as a car idles, and someone raises a phone toward us. Suspicion takes shape like a scaffold I never wanted to climb. I sit at the table with the lemon cloth and draw a grid. Dates, times, places, people, money. Mia slides over her notes app, tidy as a lab report. Jaden places the index card with the lock and key on top, like a title page. Alex lingers near the fridge, scrolling nothing, the blue-white light frosting his cheekbones. We should sleep on this, he says. Overreacting creates trauma. I hear the word creates and feel anger flash behind my eyes, like trauma needs my invitation. I open our shared digital calendar and compare to the timestamps on the messages. On October 19th, Alex marked client dinner from 7 to 10 p.m. At 10:56, he texted me home, yet at 1:12 a.m. ATM withdrawal. At 1:14, our doorbell camera. I screen capture everything and export to PDF because paper will have to explain us. I cross-reference Life 360 pings with Uber receipts in Coach's thread. The dots form triangles around our block, like someone tracing routes for practice. I remember a spare SIM card packaging in Alex's desk when I was looking for batteries, and suddenly the shape of silence hardens into a door I can open. I call Grandma Ruth into the hallway and say, if this goes legal, I need witnesses to our chain of custody. She nods like she's been waiting to be deputized. We photograph the key with tonight's paper, the clock on the stove, the kids' hands nowhere near it. Ruth suggests we inventory any way someone could enter or watch. We find the back window latch shaved down with a file. Only a millimeter, but enough to slip a card. Mia shows me calendar invites sent to her school email from an address ending in at Garden Lawn. Biz titled, Practice Kindness, each scheduled exactly during my double shifts. He said surprise visits mean love, she whispers, and the sentence makes my skin feel inside out. I add to the grid, invites, latches, spares. Procedure slows my heart to something survivable. Alex clears his throat. Are we done? Not yet. I say, opening the junk drawer where the broken baby monitor still hums a faint ghost of static. Broken things can still transmit, and some people count on that silence. By morning, I'm a registrar with a different line to manage. Banks, carriers, the school counselor's office. I call the credit union at 9:03 a.m. and speak to a teller named Tasha, who knows me from field trip deposits. 3 withdrawals of $120 on consecutive Tuesdays, I read from the grid, and 1 on July 8th. Tasha pulls the footage notes. Drive up ATM, same card ending 3142, she says, and a vehicle plate partially visible, starts with HN3. I thank her, hang up, and dial the phone carrier. On the kids' line, I request a record of forwarded messages. The rep confirms that texts to Mia from a secondary number were copied to a third-party email for parental supervision, an email not mine. I write the domain carefully. When I call Crestwood and ask for Counselor Patel, I speak as both coworker and mother. I have time at lunch, they say. Bring what you can. We'll talk safety and next steps. On the way, I stop by Alex's old assistant's apartment, Karina, who left 2 months ago with a migraine and a new backbone. Off the record, she says. Alex uses prepaid numbers labeled as clients so his phone doesn't blow up. He likes surprise generosity that photographs well. She shows me time-stamped photos on her own cloud, a cash envelope with our address written on a sticky note, a screenshot of an itinerary titled Garden Run. He kept saying, "This is mentoring." Karina's mouth trembles. I kept saying, "This looks like leverage." I thank her and promise I won't use anything without permission. She nods, already emailing me a folder named with today's date. At lunch, Patel prints a checklist, document retention, mandated reporter thresholds, trauma-informed questions, who to inform in what order. We proceed carefully, they say. Precision will protect them. I breathe and nod like a student desperate to pass. We schedule a follow-up and Patel offers a quiet office for the kids after school if needed. I text Ruth our plan. She replies with a thumbs up and a photo of the shoebox locked inside her suitcase. On my drive home, I pass the landscaping office where the jacket logo lives, and the door is propped like it expects company. Someone inside glances up at me, then reaches back to quietly pull the door closed. The mini twist arrives not as thunder, but as a spreadsheet that doesn't lie. I lay the bank statements, the carrier logs, Karina's folder, and Mia's notes side by side until the columns hum. It isn't random, it's scheduled. Every client dinner coincides with a Tuesday cash withdrawal, which coincides with a late-night porch visit, which coincides with a practice kindness invite during my double shift the next week. Gifts arrive after silence. Attention follows compliance. When Mia slowed replies, the messages switch tactics. You're special, then don't make me the bad guy. Then, this is why I can't trust adults. Control is a dial, not a switch. I can see the hand turning it. Financially, the siphon is delicate enough to hide in couch cushions. $120 at a time, plus a few $75 transfers labeled pizza or gear. But there's also a Venmo I didn't recognize with a leafy logo, routing to an account ending 0919, name redacted except for initials AK. Karina texts, AK was a faux vendor Alex used for reimbursements. I look up and feel my mouth shape a word I don't say in front of the kids. Ruth sits with Mia and Jaden at the table, turning evidence into a game. Find all the Tuesdays, she says, and they circle with highlighters like they're hunting stars. It feels wrong and right at the same time. Wrong to draft them, right to let them see we will not hide from facts. I print the altered text Alex forwarded from Mia's teacher and paste it next to the real one Patel requested from the school server. The kerning betrays the forgery. The timestamp betrays his alibi. This is the what. The why remains smoke. Status? Resentment? Punishment for my boundaries? Alex knocks on the door at 6:12 p.m., cheerful as a game show host, with a bag of takeout and a story about teamwork. I open the door and stand between him and the kids, an ordinary person making an unglamorous choice. We're documenting tonight, I tell him. You can stay if you agree to listen without touching anyone's phone. He smiles that thin smile. Dana, are you really building a case against your own family? I say yes, and his eyes narrow like a lens deciding what to capture next. The plan is small enough to hold in one hand. Secure devices, document chain of custody, decide who to tell first. I make 2 envelopes, evidence A and evidence B, seal duplicates inside, and store them apart. Mia and Jaden hand over their phones for encrypted backups. I photograph each screen before it sleeps. We list who knows. Me, Ruth, Patel, Tasha at the bank in general terms, Karina in specifics. What about the neighbors? Ruth asks. Not yet, I say, and feel the moral weight swing like a church bell. If I alert the block, the kids become exhibits. If I stay quiet, the behavior continues under softer lights. I picture Mia's notes app like a small heart beating in a pocket. I picture Jaden counting ceiling fan blades to block out a whisper through the mail slot. I choose professionals first, then a controlled reveal. I call a consumer rights lawyer our school PTO once hired for a fun misallocation issue. Carter answers in a voice like squared corners. Bring what you have, he says. I'll tell you what counts. He reminds me to preserve original file metadata and to record a fresh video logging the evidence with date and time stated aloud. We do it together at the kitchen table, the lemon cloth now a crime lab. Say the date and the names of the files you're placing in the envelope, Carter directs over speaker. I comply, my voice only cracking once when I say my daughter's name in a context she doesn't deserve. The dilemma chews at me. Do we confront first to stop it, or expose first to protect the kids from apology theater and narrative spin? Carter says, confrontation invites destruction of evidence. Public exposure invites counteraccusations. The third path is controlled verification. He proposes a meeting at the school with Patel present and a scheduled call with the bank's fraud team while we sit together. Neutral ground, he says, and a record. I text Alex the plan and receive a single bubble. Overkill. Ruth places her hand over mine like a lid on boiling water. We choose neutral ground, but neutral doesn't mean safe when masks start slipping. The close call happens at the worst possible place, the neighborhood potluck. I consider skipping, then decide visibility can be armor if worn correctly. We arrive with a tray of garlic bread and my phone on airplane mode, evidence sealed at home. Alex is already there, folding chairs like a public service announcement. He catches my eye, then launches a grand gesture. He donates a fancy cooler to the block, announces a mentorship fund for kids' activities, and hands Mia a monogrammed water bottle with an audience. The oohs and claps hit my nervous system like static. Mia's mouth tightens. Jaden fidgets with a napkin until it shreds. Can we talk? Alex asks, guiding me toward the hedge. He drops his voice to velvet. End this crusade, and I'll step back from extra help. No more misunderstandings. Keep it family. He says keep like a promise and a threat. For a second, the simplicity sparkles. Peace in exchange for silence. Then Ruth appears at my elbow and asks one question like a cold glass of water smashed over sugar. Why did Mia receive a practice kindness invite during Dana's double shift? Alex blinks. What invite? Ruth looks past him at the neighbors setting up dessert tables. What would you do? She says mildly. If your child's courage shattered your peace. The question floats like a hymn. I imagine the cost of going public, custody motions, whispers at work, the phrase parental alienation deployed like a smoke bomb. I imagine the cost of staying quiet, my children learning that the fastest way to make mom calm is to bury the truth. Alex squeezes my wrist once, hard enough to name. Pick your battles, he murmurs. Pick your witnesses, Ruth answers. I exhale and choose. School meeting tomorrow at 4. I say. Patel present, Carter on speaker, bank on the line. Alex smiles without teeth. Mia tugs my sleeve and whispers that the landscaping truck just did a slow loop around the cul-de-sac. Its brake lights blink twice like a signal, then vanish into the dark street. We set the trap with polite emails and calendar invites, the way bureaucracy prefers its battles fought. Patel books a room. Carter sends a Zoom link. The bank schedules a call at 4:15 p.m. I forward the invites to Alex and CC Ruth as a witness. The subject lines look boring, which is the point. I print a fresh index of files with hashes so that any lost artifact has a fingerprint. Mia asks if she can bring her notebook. Only if you want to, I say. She nods and tucks a pen behind her ear like a journalist who just graduated 6th grade. At 3:58 p.m., we arrive. The conference room smells like markers and old meetings. Patel pours water and thanks the kids for telling uncomfortable truths. You are not responsible for adult feelings, they say, and the sentence hangs like a life raft. Alex enters at 4:03, crisp shirt, empty hands, smile calibrated for school hallways. Ruth sits between them. Carter appears on screen, precise voice. We are recording, he says. Alex rolls his eyes, then nods. At 4:15, the bank joins. The supervisor deviates from the script. We reviewed withdrawals on July 8th, October 5th, 12, 19, she says, and noted the vehicle with partial plate HN3. She asks Alex to confirm he was the cardholder. Sure, but legitimate, he replies. Patel introduces the practice kindness invites. Carter shares his screen. Side-by-side messages, kerning misaligned, metadata visible. Mr. Hart, he says. Do you dispute that this forwarded message differs from the school server copy? Alex pauses, then says, Karina handled communications. Karina, invited as a neutral witness, knocks and steps in at 4:23. Carter asks Alex to list all keys. He claims he returned the only spare last spring, but can't describe the key head. I slide a clear bag containing the blue scratched key across the table without commentary. Alex doesn't reach for it. Ruth writes the time on a sticky and places it beside the bag. Patel schedules a facilities officer to rekey the student entrance. The ordinary details keep us from drowning in the dramatic ones. His practiced smile falters like a curtain slipping in harsh light. The reveal isn't theatrical, it's clerical. Carter highlights dates while Patel reads the kids' statements in the gentlest tone. Karina, palms damp but steady, provides an affidavit. Alex purchased prepaid SIMs and labeled one coach. She shows a calendar titled Garden Run, with our address listed under Drop Zone. The projector throws evidence on a whiteboard that once held pep talks. Today, it shows the cost of charm. The bank confirms the July 8th ATM withdrawal, and the landlord's log shows no entry. Ruth's gaze never leaves Alex's face. Carter says, motive is often a braid. Status, control, access. Alex laughs without mirth. I was helping, he says. This is gratitude inflation. He turns to Mia, voice syrupy. You like the hoodie. Mia's chair squeaks backward an inch. Jaden whispers, he promised the drone. Patel slides tissues closer to the kids. You are allowed to feel angry. They tell the kids, then look at me. You are allowed to feel furious. I take a breath that scrapes my ribs. The words on the board settle into a single picture. Not a stranger, not a mistake, but a system. Alex reaches for noble failure. Dana pushes people away with rules, so I stepped up, he says. Kids need magic. Carter's tone doesn't change. Do you admit to visiting after midnight and instructing secrecy? Alex's jaw works. I admit to loving these kids. Patel clicks to the slide with the mail slot whisper. Shoo, no alarms. The room inhales together. The mask slips. Alex's eyes harden. Fine. He snaps. I won't care anymore. Carter ends with instructions. Third-party contact only. No gifts. Surrender keys. Audit accounts. Carter adds that the forwarded teacher message header includes a hidden X edited by tag, a clumsy artifact cheap software leaves behind. Patel explains software has fingerprints too, and those will matter more than anyone's tone. Ruth squeezes my shoulder until I remember to breathe deep again. Alex stands, knocks over a paper cup, and says, very quietly, that I will regret this. Fallout arrives like mail, daily and addressed to everyone. The neighborhood chat sprouts theories. Someone posts a photo of our porch light at midnight and asks if the city can find excessive drama. I mute the thread and meet with HR at school to explain why I might need schedule flexibility for court dates. They're kind, but policy is colder than people. Carter files a petition for temporary boundaries, third-party exchanges, no unsupervised visits until evaluation, financial audit of the shared kit account. Alex responds with a motion accusing me of manufacturing hysteria and weaponizing bureaucracy. The words look like smoke grenades on paper. Mia's grades dip for a week, then rebound after Patel teaches her to break assignments into islands she can swim between without drowning. Jaden has nightmares about keys that walk. Ruth moves into our spare room with 2 suitcases and a list. Breakfasts, rides, bedtime stories that promise endings. The bank freezes the faux vendor account and flags 2 reimbursements for investigation. Karina texts that she's been contacted by Alex's new lawyer. She forwards the email to Carter and blocks the number. I press my palms flat on the lemon cloth every night like I'm flattening wrinkled maps before a long drive. There is social blowback. Parents who adored Alex's generosity now squint at me in the pickup line like I kicked a puppy. A neighbor I barely know slips me a note that says, "Be careful what you teach your kids about betrayal." I throw it away and then retrieve it for evidence, because I am done letting cruelty evaporate without record. The kid's therapist recommends a boundary contract we write together. Who can visit when doors lock? Who answers unknown numbers? What secrets cost? We sign it in blue ink and stick a copy on the fridge between a spelling bee ribbon and a grocery list. That night, someone jiggles the back latch once, as if testing whether we still mean it. Repair is not cinematic. It's a spreadsheet of mornings done right. We build a safety plan that fits our house like new hinges. Locks rekeyed, peephole camera upgraded, porch light on a timer, neighbors informed on a need-to-know basis with simple sentences that do not invite debate. We practice scripts. We don't discuss that. Please email my attorney. Thank you for caring. The kids are safe. I move the lemon cloth to the laundry and leave the table bare for a week because I like seeing wood, honest and unpatterned. We put the shoebox in a small fireproof safe and log the new chain of custody. Ruth's initials, my initials, time and date. Alex's communications shift to performative concern mixed with Barb's. Hope you're happy. Mia seemed sad in math. The kids deserve joy, not interrogations. Carter drafts a response template that reads like rainwater. Clear, cool, leaving nothing behind. Stick to logistics, he says. Patel helps the kids set phone boundaries. Mia creates a new notes folder titled Bright Spots and fills it with very boring victories. Jaden finished homework by 7:15. Mom didn't forget snack day. No one knocked after 10. We celebrate with cheap cupcakes that taste like relief. I schedule my own therapy and tell the truth with my whole throat for 50 minutes. I am angry. I am scared. I am done performing reasonable for people who prefer me silent. We write accountability in ink. If Alex wants contact, it happens at the community center with a staffer present. If he wants to contribute, he pays for counseling sessions, not gadgets. If he wants to apologize, he does it without staging it for applause. Ruth says boundaries are love wearing boots. I say boundaries are oxygen finally reaching a room that's been smoky for years. The kids sleep deeper. The house stops listening for footsteps that don't belong. I return the lemon cloth to the table only after the wood stops feeling like a confession. When Mia's class hosts a bake sale, I volunteer for the boring shift that no one photographs. Afterward, we go home to a house that knows our names and nothing else. Then an envelope without a return address appears on our doormat, heavy with a single unfamiliar key. Reflection is quieter than I imagined. I keep thinking about Mia's first line. We saved everything. That was a love letter disguised as a warning. Jaden's blurting truth was another. He couldn't carry a secret designed like a trap. I used to believe good parenting was spotless logistics and cheerful tone. Now I think it's believing your kids before you believe appearances. I think it's treating evidence like care, not like accusation. I think it's teaching them that love without transparency breeds loyalty to the wrong things. In our house now, we narrate safety like it's a bedtime story. Doors locked, devices charging in the kitchen, feelings named without judgment, apologies uncoupled from access. I tell them, you won't be punished for telling me the worst. I tell them, people who ask for secrecy are afraid of light, not of shame. To parents watching this, notice patterns, not performances. Ask yourself who benefits when information stays foggy. Save screenshots even when you wish you were imagining it. Learn the words officials need and write the timelines they respect. If your community calls refusal to tolerate manipulation impolite, change communities. Dignity is a habit, and safety is teachable. Mia's bright spots list grows. Pancakes on Saturday, Jaden's drawing of a dragon guarding a key, Grandma Ruth snoring during movie night. The hopeful image is ordinary on purpose. The porch light on a timer, steady as a heartbeat we set ourselves. If you are where I was, here is a script. Say, I need clarity. Not I'm sorry. Say, can you repeat that in writing, and watch who declines. Open your bank app and scroll with intention now. Keep a paper folder anyway. Reality respects ink. Ask a friend to take porch shifts when you're too tired. Accept help you didn't plan to need. Teach your children that courage is not loud. It is consistent. It is a light on a timer that clicks on nightly because you told it to. One day you'll laugh without checking the door. And the practical takeaway is this. Believe small clues early before someone tries rewriting them.